And Miss Gibson, how are you?
Have you ever been to an art museum, a concert, a ballet, or even just watched a movie at home? Well, all of these things have at least one thing in common, and that thing is that they are all considered forms of the arts. And they're all created by people that have had a really great education in the arts from their schools. Unfortunately, many schools these days are struggling with their budgets, and so where are they cutting their funds? They're taking their money from arts education. And this is a problem because the arts are a really great way for students to have a really well-rounded education. The arts are important to education because they improve education for other subject areas such as science and math, and they also allow students to learn important life and career skills that they wouldn't necessarily learn otherwise. An education in the arts increases the effectiveness of education in other subjects. According to research done by the Mississippi State University, this decreases the education gap based on income. So this means that having an arts education allows students of low-income families to have the same opportunities as students of high-income families. So this allows for greater and more equal opportunity in schools for students of different income and backgrounds such as race and minorities. And this means that an arts education is really important for low-income schools that are in places such as the inner city, even though those are the places with the least funding and the places that are having to cut their arts education. According to the Arts Action Fund, having an education in the arts improves the GPA and test scores of students in those schools. This is because having an education in the arts allows students to use both sides of their brain. The left side of your brain is used for things like analyzing and math and statistics, whereas the right side of your brain is used for more creative thinking like you would use in the arts. This means that you would have a higher IQ because your brain is working harder, allowing you to get better grades in class and a better GPA and higher test scores on your standardized testing. They also say that education in the arts decreases dropout rates. This means that more people will have diplomas, and that means because they have more diplomas, they'll be more ready for college and career options. In addition, the arts help students attain important and useful life and career skills. Gustave Courbet says it allows students creativity in expressing and implementing their brand new ideas. This means that by learning about the arts in school, they're learning more than just music or dance. They're also learning that they can think outside of the box in everyday life. This means that in a normal job setting, they will be set apart because they can think outside of the box and think creatively, whereas other people may not be able to do that. According to the Times Union, employers are also being influenced to hire artists and designers to drive innovation. This is because the arts are a thing that fosters creativity, which is needed for innovation in all kinds of areas such as technology and medicine. You can even see a need for the arts in engineering and architecture because this allows people to visualize their ideas and come up with brand new ideas. By doing this, they're really providing people with a way to come up with brand new ideas and new technologies, and this is how we progress in all kinds of fields that are not always necessarily considered related to the arts. Gustave Courbet also says that learning about the arts helps students learn simply how to learn. This is because creative thinking allows students to learn in new ways. This means that when they're learning a new math equation, they don't just have to think of it in the way that the teacher tells them to. They're able to take that math equation and think of it in a more creative way that allows them to learn it in the way that is best for them, which will ultimately allow them to get better scores later on. Also, the arts challenge everyone at all times. because in the arts, there is no time when you can say, I have mastered this subject. There's always room for people to improve in the arts, and they never come easy to anyone because they're so different than anything else. So because of that, everyone has to work hard to learn about them, and that means that every student, whether they're a high level or a low level student normally in STEM classes, they have an equal opportunity to succeed in the arts, which provides self-confidence and teaches students to work hard so they will be more prepared for jobs later on in life. However, some people say that the arts are less important than STEM classes, which would be science, technology, engineering, and math. The Heritage Foundation says that it should be cut in order to prove that the government is willing to cut things that are simply considered unnecessary spending. And in my opinion, this is ridiculous because the arts are actually necessary. People may say that they're not necessary, but creativity is very necessary because it teaches students to be unique and creative, which allows them to be successful later in life. Without those things, we would all be the exact same, and there would be no growth in society that way. Also, by saying they are unnecessary means that you want a nation of like-minded people, so we would be pretty much robots, and well, that would not be fun. And so if you have a nation of people that are exactly the same, no one would think differently, and so because of that, no one would think, hey, this thing is done probably not in the best way, let's change it. And so nothing would progress in society. The World Economic Forum also says that we should teach for the future, which would be using classes like computer science and technology. But those things are useless without the arts because there would be no progress in those without creativity. In conclusion, when looking at curriculum and budgeting for schools in the future, people need to fight in order to keep the arts in our schools. The arts allow us to think for ourselves and teach us to be creative in life or do things differently than the average person would do them. That being said, it is important to donate to funds for the arts and talk to their local school districts about the importance of funding the arts.